I was actually doing a little extra reading in some of my morning time. I got my morning writing over early, so I was just doing a few things I don't normally have time to do. And we're diving back into the Tao Te Ching. We're diving into a version of the Tao, which is Wayne Dyer's book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. It's his interpretation of the Tao, not a literal translation, but he pulled together different sources of translations that were meaningful for him. He studied it for a year. He lived it, continued to live it, and he offered his expression on how to best express the Tao Te Ching. Medic is here. Medic is first in the house. Medic is only in the house. The only one. Much appreciated. Squirrel Sniper says, Grand Risings, Eric. Thank you, Squirrel Sniper. Hey, I didn't get the PDF that you were going to send, that you mentioned that you did send. So I'll be on the lookout for it. Um, I mentioned that I bought this book 20 years ago. I was myself immersed in studying the Tao Te Ching. And after I bought the book, I like Wayne Dyer. I always have. He was an early teacher for me. I met him twice. For some reason, I couldn't bring myself to read this book. I found that I didn't want to read someone else's expression of the Tao Te Ching. I wanted to live my own. So every time I picked up the book, I just simply lost interest. 20 years later, for whatever reason, the same copy, the same book, and I felt ready. And I dove in, and I've been reading it for the past 2 weeks now, and absolutely loving it. And it's opened me up to expressing the Tao in a way I hadn't considered before. Not me expressing the Tao expressing itself through me. Happy to see my friends here so early in the morning. Not so early for Squirrel Sniper and Medic. I know it is for Eric Lapointe. So let's read the 15th chapter, 15th verse, sorry. There's 81 verses to the Tao Te Ching. Ancient wisdom, suggestions. Lao Tzu was leaving. He was disgusted with how the world was in his century in China at the time. And as on his way out, a gatekeeper stopped him and implored him to leave behind some wisdom. 81 chapters, very short. 81 verses, I keep saying chapter. So this is the 15th. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. One can only describe them vaguely by their appearance. Watchful, the men, like men crossing a winter stream, alert, like men aware of danger, simple as uncarved wood, hollow like the cave, yielding like ice about to melt, amorphous like muddy water. But the muddiest water clears as it is stilled, and out of that stillness life arises. He who keeps the Tao does not want to be full, but precisely because he is never full, he can remain like a hidden sprout and does not rush to early ripening. Every time I read a verse from the Tao, I think that's my favorite verse. I think it's no coincidence here that we have our friend Squirrel Sniper, a master carver. And there's the line, simple as uncarved wood. And what that represents in the Tao, uncarved wood, means that it is full of potentiality. That when our friend Squirrel Sniper sees that uncarved wood, he sees the potential of the carving that it holds. Uncarved, unpainted, emptiness, blank. All of that holds potentiality for things to be, whatever that might be. And it's absolutely a beautiful way of living life, going through life. We're open to potential. We're open to possibilities. Nothing is off limit. So if something that we deem unpleasant happens, can we say this isn't supposed to be? By virtue of its appearance, it's simply how things are. By virtue of change, it's not going to last. And I keep thinking of the children's song, the lullaby. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Life is truly a dream, and we don't know what's going to appear next. So we just gently row our boat, easily, merrily, down the stream, enjoying life, loving life, and all that it presents. We're not in charge of what life presents. We are in charge with the effort that we do. We're in charge of the boat, gently down the stream. Let's see. Eric Point says hello, everyone. And Eric Point says, Medic, do you ever sleep? I have my doubts. Medic says it ended up being a 6-hour marathon. Yep, I saw that popped up, so we're going to check it out later. Always enjoy having one of Medic's live streams up on my desktop, because at any odd moment through the day, I can dive in and see what the conversation is all about. Scroll Snipper says, because you've created a solid foundation to yourself, Eric, when that happens, you can do anything that you previously couldn't. Wonderfully said, Scroll Snipper. I love that. I love that analogy. This also, verse 15, reminds me of the Psalm, be still and know that I am God. That we only know I am. We only know the presence, I am, the presence of God, if we are still. In the busyness of the world, we actually start to lose that realization. So in the busyness, we don't push away the busyness. We find that stillness within the busyness itself. Remember, I think it was verse 13, might have been 12, the hub within the wheel. It's that stillness and activity moving around it. Eric Point, Medic says, I only plan on 2 hours, but my audience love it. Audience love me. Eric says, I believe it. Here's my thoughts on that. What's not to love? UK Medic in all his glory. 6 hours. Let's see. Scroll Snipper says, come back to imagination, intuition, and empathy. Exactly. And the truth is, it's never lost. So it's always there for us to return to. But we think through that busyness in life. In the Tao, they describe it as the 10,000 things, the busyness of life. But we can always, always, always return to imagination, intuition, and empathy, as Squirrel Sniper wonderfully points out. Medic says, I'm always amazed that I can entertain an audience that long. Yeah, it doesn't matter how often something like that happens. The time when it does, it's just magical. And you can't believe that we're entitled to that magic, that it's working its way through us. Medic says, I would find a fast flowing stream so I didn't have to row. That's the enlightened wisdom from a master. How all of us are rowing gently down a stream, and there goes UK Medic, laughing all the way. iPad Warriors here says, what are we talking about? Talking about verse 15 of the Tao Te Ching, as represented through Wayne Dyer's book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, which again isn't a translation, it's a representation, an interpretation. UK Medic says, I'm never in the presence of God because God is present in me. Well said. I like to think of it as presence. I don't have to do anything. It's simply there. And that's the message of the Tao. Relaxing in the simplicity of simply being. I just got an early morning Facebook text from our friend Goldie. The eye of the storm is the calmest, indeed. iPad Warrior said, are we discussing existentialism or religious beliefs? Neither, really. We're really just talking about the simplicity of being alive, how it presents itself, and relaxing in the ever-present state of what is, without having to do anything. Where some of us are rowing gently down the stream, others are cruising on the current, and both are absolutely wonderful as they happen. Squirrel Simper says, the busyness of life tries to rock your boat. Jet set sail and enjoy the ride. Of course, now Squirrel Sniper has me singing in my head the 70s classic, Rock the Boat, Don't Rock the Boat, Baby. That's going to be stuck in my head all day. Goldie says, hi there, lovely people. Hi, lovely Goldie. And it's nice to have you guys so early in the morning. Much appreciated. Goldie says, good morning to all the Erics. Not just Eric LaPointe and not just Eric McCarty. All the Erics in the world. iPad Warrior says, do you believe in dualism? Does the conscious existence of mentality and physicality? That's a great question. I do believe in dualism, but I don't think it's the end-all and be-all of reality. I think that the oneness of consciousness itself presents itself in a dual fashion, but it's always only one thing. I can't deny dualism because I stub my toe on the emptiness of my desk several times a week. That I have to tend to the physicality of my body. And yet, at the same moment, I realize empathy, or I realize emptiness and nothingness within myself as well. Both are true. Neither is true completely in and of itself. Everything stems from nothing, but existence is. That was an excellent question. It was an excellent question at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting my mind flowing. Medic says, to avoid the turbulence of life, I use a hovercraft, no boat to rock. Smart thinking. As well, he's a master of drones. So he gets to view life from the loftiness and yet at the same time participate. Squircepa says, you have something to thank whilst burpees today. This is true. Burpees most certainly rock the boat. And everything else. iPad says, hi Goldie. iPad said, agreed. I'm very invested in philosophy as the psychologist Sigmund Freud and philosophers like Socrates have thought that one can't exist without the other. You've earned yourself a new subscription. I appreciate that, my friend. And love to hear more about your thoughts on that. I love the teachings of Carl Jung, the synchronistic messages. It just really opens up the world for us to provide the meaning that comes to us. We don't have to. The lesson in A Course in Miracles this morning is nothing has meaning in and of itself until I look at it and give it the meaning that it has. So that seems a very synchronistic connection with iPad Warrior here. So it is almost 5:20 and I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna take my morning walk. Hey Eric, good luck. You said you might do 100 burpees today. Good luck with the burpees. Squirrel Simple says dualism is there created as obstacles for your understanding, seeing that one must look at both perspectives. And Epismius, doesn't sit on the fence. He is the fence that is completely separated. Nicely said. Yeah, to deny dualism makes no sense. To believe in dualism doesn't make any sense. To simply live your life, the life of appearance and the life of non-appearance at the same time, makes a lot of sense. Medic says, sleep is an example of duality. While the physical is dormant, the mind is dealing with a myriad of thoughts. Very true. This is true. And life continues. Even in the third state of consciousness, the deep sleep, where the mind seems to be shut down, things are still being directed by the innate intelligence of life itself. The heart is still pumping, the blood is still flowing, existence is still is, beingness is still expressed. iPad Warrior said, I recommend reading The Myth of Sisyphus by Camus. Read it decades and decades ago and reread it last year. Camus looks at the world from a nihilistic perspective, which enables the human body surpasses motivation with drive. Catch you all later. Hey, here's what I love is a reinterpretation of the myth of Sisyphus, that he found meaning within the meaningless of pushing a boulder up a hill. That Sisyphus wasn't actually tortured any longer. He was happy. He was happy with the effort itself, without having to have the boulder stay at the top. That it rolled back down was part of the divine order. That he pushed it back up was part of the divine order. Everything played its part, including Sisyphus himself. iPad Warrior, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Goldie and Squirrel Sniper and Medic and Eric LaPointe. You guys helped make my morning get off to a wonderful start. Much appreciated. I'm going to see everyone this afternoon. Guys, I'm 69 hours away from my watch hours, and that's with a week not counted. Things are looking good. Guys, I'll see y'all later. Take care.